Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to look at the Get Started page for the upcoming Canvas starter site. So this will be the default page that launches when the site launches here soon. If you've been following along, I've done other videos for Get Started pages. That other page that I created is going to be a style, what I call style 2. Also, what I mentioned throughout this series, I believe I mentioned it, is that there's going to be, this site's never going to be done. I'm going to constantly create new versions of templates for people to choose from. And this is just the first example of that. Is there's going to be 2 versions of the Get Started page to choose from when this site launches. And I'll continue to add more as we go along. Okay, so this video is going to cover the new Get Started page that will be part of the site for default. Okay, so for launch, sorry. Okay, so let's look at the build notes for what I did here, and some of it's going to be a recap. So if it's a good refresher, even if you saw those previous videos, some of this is just I want to talk about why I create these in the first place and why they're important. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the build notes for this site. For that, let's go to MyListing Club's website. That's mylisting.club, and we're going to right here on the homepage click on this MyListing Starter Sites card. We're then going to click on this Explore button and then click into the Canvas card. We're going to scroll down to the build notes and we're going to expand the Get Started page style 1, which is default. Over time, I'll think about how to do this possibly differently, but for now, I've just highlighted in the club's brand yellow color, if it's a different style and whether it's a default style or not. Okay, so this is the one we're going to be looking at in this video. I'm going to move these notes over to my other screen to follow along with. Allow me a second to read about why I create these pages in the first place. Okay, if you are going to allow users, i.e. listing owners, to add listings to your website from the front end, which is typical with MyListing websites, a dedicated page with the 27 add listing form Elementor widget added to it is required. Unfortunately, this presents a not so flattering design with the flipping boxes seen on most MyListing websites. So if we pull up the demo for MyListing, the main demo, these are those flipping boxes that I'm talking about. So you click that add listing CTA in the top right, and then you get these flipping boxes, and you cannot do anything with these unless you know how, unless you're really good at CSS or you do some other custom development solution. Okay, so this is going to get around that limitation. In addition to the add listing page, I use a get started page. And when I say add listing page, I mean the core add listing page that's required for MyListing to function. Okay, even though it's not seen. In addition to the add listing page, I use a get started page with the direct links for adding listings under a particular listing type. This way, the core add listing page on the front end of the website is never seen by anyone, which means these flipping boxes are hidden. So if we look at the back end of a MyListing website, specifically the Canvas site or any starter sites I build, we've got this core add listing page here. And it doesn't matter what you call it, doesn't matter what the URL is, the slug, doesn't matter. It just needs to be there. And it just needs to be there with this widget that I mentioned, this 27 add listing form. This is what generates those flipping boxes. This page was never going to be seen. So this page is never going to be seen. It just needs to be there for functionality. Okay. Okay, moving on. The Get Started page serves as a starting point for creating an account, searching for existing listings that can be claimed, adding listings, etc. Building a Get Started page with Elementor Pro, which is included and licensed with all starter sites, opens a world of possibilities for design and functionality. So if you've ever used Elementor Pro, you know what I'm talking about. Now the world opens up to you. You can do whatever you want within the bounds of Elementor and Elementor Pro. Okay. The add listing CTA button. So for that, I am referring to, again, we're looking at the demo and we see this add listing button in the top right of any demo you install from MyListing, or frankly, I'd go as far as saying most MyListing websites out there, just they have this there and they don't do anything more. They just leave it. So unfortunately, that's the case. Most MyListing websites lack get started pages or other educational pages, and potential listing owners' only starting point is the add listing CTA call to action in the header area, button, or a menu link. This can lead users to getting lost and frustrated with more questions than answers. So imagine coming here, imagine if you were a user of your directory that had no idea what MyListing was, all right? You got to put yourself in the shoes of those people. They come here and they look through the menu, and there's nothing about pricing. There's nothing about, what are the features that are included with the pricing? What happened if I click this add a listing button? How much is this stuff going to cost? What can I expect? Like, what are the other things that I can do? What are my steps? Like, what's the flow the recommended flow that I should follow? You're missing, as a website owner, you're missing upsell opportunities. You're missing opportunities to help listing owners better themselves, better their listings, better their businesses. There's just no guidance without a page like a get started page. Okay. Okay, so what's next here? We talked about the button and why it's not enough and why it can frustrate people. As the website owner, you need to take advantage of critical opportunities to educate and provide more value to potential customers. As such, I've adjusted the settings of the Add Listing CTA. So for that, this button right here, I've adjusted it in order to get this. So now we have a Get Started button that links to this Get Started page that you see. And to do that, you just jump into the WordPress dashboard, Theme Tools, Theme Options, and we're going to scroll down here and we're going to change the Call to Action button label. You're just changing the text on the button, and then you're pointing it to the new page, which in this case is Get Started. So change it from Add Listing to Get Started, or whatever your page, your educational page starting point is called. That's it. And one of the things is reverting. If you get this starter site and you just decide, I want to go back for whatever, I would not recommend it. But if you want to go back to the MyListing defaults and put that add listing button at the top with no education, you could definitely do that. Just reverse what I showed you here. Change the get started to whatever add listing or whatever you want to call that button, and change this link back, this drop down, change it back to add listing, and you're good to go. There's nothing crazy I'm implementing here as far as changing the structure of the theme or putting custom code in there that's going to be complex. It's not. It's just changing what's currently there, adding a template to open up the world to Elementor Pro, and just making things better for everyone. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the Get Started page here and talk about how this thing is built. One of the things that's unique to this page is Elementor nested carousels. So there's a newer feature in Elementor where you can turn on nested elements. So unless you turn that on, you cannot use this particular carousel. The widget won't even show up as an available option to you. Okay. So what I've done, we'll look at the dark mode version because I've got Elementor pulled up for that. And we'll look at how this is built. So we see here this carousel widget, and a carousel can have slides. Okay, so that's each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the slides that are in there, and I've got them labeled here within the navigator on the right hand side, so you can easily find out which slide that you're looking at. Of particular note is using Elementor's nested elements feature and carousel widget to create slides for each CTA, join, claim, list, etc., rather than a set of static CTA boxes. This allows website owners to create movement, add multiple widgets to each carousel slide, and provide a lot of content in a smaller amount of space. So you could definitely create a Get Started page. I'm going to do another video here shortly for the How It Works page, where you scroll and you scroll and you scroll, which is totally fine. But for the Get Started page, I like to just create what looks like a landing page where it's like a jump off point where you just come here. It's very simple, gives a little bit of explanation, and off they go. And you do it. You show them in order that you want them to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever that is. Okay. So about the movement again. We have this movement rather than just putting static boxes or static elements across the screen. So within a small amount of space, we can put a lot of stuff in here. Okay. As part of that, because this is a nested element, you can drop whatever you want into each slide. So if I want to add I wouldn't do this probably, but if you wanted to add a heading to this slide, you can do that. Sorry, not that one. Let's see. Let's go to the actual slide. So I'm going to expand the join slide. And not sure what I'm doing there. Oh, there we go. Let's go back here. Sorry, there's some stuff clicking on all the wrong stuff. There, so now we're in the join container. Sorry, I had the wrong thing selected there. There you go. So you could add a heading here, and then if you want to add a heading to this nested element at the bottom of that one, if you want to add a heading or something, an image to the top of this one, you can do that. And then you just create this lots, like I said, lots of content and functionality within that small amount of space. Totally up to you what you want to do there, but it opens up a lot of doors. Okay. Looking back at this, let's break down what these CTAs do. Some of it's just pretty obvious. Join, that will take you to the login page. Claim, that will bring up a pop-up where they can search for listings to claim. The list option CTA will bring up the add listing form where they can then click and start adding their listing. Next up is the approval. And what my idea for this one was, and you can change this to whatever you want, obviously, was to dump them into their listings area of their dashboard where they can see whether the listing has been approved or not. They're going to get a notification in email anyway, just saying their listing is approved and all that stuff. But, you know, I was trying to think of some place to put them, and that's where I put them. Change that to whatever you want. Reach is going to reach to the reach further page. So this is a custom template that comes with the starter site. Cool, really cool page in my opinion. And I did a video and stuff on that, so I'm not going to get into the reach further page, but it's just an opportunity to help your listing owners leverage your platform, and hopefully you're driving them at that point to your highest tier pricing package or packages. Okay, and then the last thing here is just saying repeat. What if I have other businesses? Just repeat this process. Obviously, they've joined at that time. They're going to search again and see if that business listing is on there, and then claim it if it is. If it's not, they're going to add the listing. They're going to go through the approval process, and they're going to reach further. And then rinse, repeat over and over again until they get all of their listings in there. That is the idea. Okay. We went through all of this. In the build notes, you'll see I explain where these pop-ups are coming from, which pop-ups you need to make this happen. Obviously, if you get the starter site, it's going to be ready to go for you. If you get this template, you'll get everything you see here, but you'll need to get those individual pop-ups because those are separate templates that get called in for the claim and the list, and then the reach page is a separate template. Okay. What else? Anything else? I think that's it. Again, this is called Canvas Get Started Page Style 1, Light Mode and Dark Mode. And the previous one that I did, which is also available, is just Style 2, Light and Dark Mode. All right. But this is what's going to be there at launch. Looking at the back end, I've kind of shown you how this thing is built already, but it's got that nested carousel widget in there. Opens a lot of doors for you. Let's go ahead and look at the mobile views. So we saw desktop, laptop, essentially. Here we go with the tablet view. And you can easily adjust these slides. You can do 2 slides at a time, 3 slides at a time, adjust any setting you want. You can adjust the navigation, take these arrows out, adjust these pagination dots. You can whatever. If you've ever used Elementor Pro, you know what I'm talking about. You can do whatever you want to do here. Let's look at the phone. Same thing. Change the number of slides if you want. Obviously, change the styling if you want. Whatever you want to do. But the idea is just a quick one-pager. Get them where they're going, where you want them to go. Give them guidance. Don't just give them an add listing button in flip boxes where they have no idea what they're supposed to do next. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.